Are you ready to uncover the hidden traps you set for yourself? The things you reveal that weaken your power, expose your vulnerabilities, and give others control over your mind. This isn't a journey for the faint-hearted. We're here to confront the truths we often ignore, the secrets that, when kept private, give us strength, but when shared too freely, leave us exposed. This is about reclaiming your personal power, brick by brick, until you stand unshakable, untouchable, and truly free. If you're prepared to shed what holds you back and guard what makes you strong, then you're exactly where you need to be. But before we begin this journey of self-protection and resilience, make sure to subscribe to this channel. By joining us, you're committing to a path of self-mastery, guided by the wisdom of the Stoics to help you guard what's most sacred. You won't want to miss what comes next, as we unlock the ancient principles that build inner fortitude and protect you from the inside out. Together, let's step into this transformative path to become unbreakable in both mind and spirit. Your deepest fears and weaknesses. In a society that prizes vulnerability as virtue, the Stoics' approach to weakness might seem out of place. But a Stoic's silence about their fears isn't about denial, it's about discipline. True strength requires understanding our weaknesses and learning to master them in solitude. For a Stoic, this is an unbreakable rule. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't just philosophy, it's a battle plan. To reveal our fears to others is to open the gates to our inner fortress, inviting in those who may not handle them with care. When we expose our weaknesses to others, we give away a piece of our autonomy. Suddenly, we're not only burdened by our fears, but also by how others perceive them. Those who understand the principles of Stoicism recognize the need to own their fears and address them within. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means channeling them, working through them without turning them into public burdens. Every time we voice a fear to someone else, we dilute our strength by dispersing our energy outward. Imagine a rock face standing tall against a storm. It's struck by waves, beaten by wind, but it does not falter. A Stoic's heart is like this rock. Our fears may be turbulent, but they are contained within, quieted by our own resolve. When we choose to keep these vulnerabilities unspoken, we protect not only our strength, but our focus. As Epictetus wrote, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." There is wisdom in silence, especially when it comes to our greatest fears. By keeping our fears internal, we don't just protect ourselves, we build ourselves. Our silence becomes a crucible, a place where our fears are not dismissed, but refined into resilience. This is what it means to cultivate strength, not to deny weakness, but to transform it, to shape it into something unbreakable. And that transformation, that power, is lost when we hand our fears to others to carry. Your long-term goals and ambitions. If there's one thing a Stoic understands, it's the value of quiet determination. In our culture, where announcing our goals has almost become a ritual, the Stoic takes a different path. They recognize that goals are sacred. They are a map of our future, a projection of our soul's deepest aspirations. The wise Stoic knows that sharing these dreams too soon exposes them to judgment, doubt, and distraction. To share a goal prematurely is to invite interference and to dilute the energy we could be using to achieve it. When Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one," he was reminding us to focus on the work rather than the talk. Goals, for the Stoic, are not achievements waiting to be celebrated. They are personal battles to be fought in solitude. The act of keeping these ambitions private transforms them from fleeting wishes to steadfast commitments. In silence, they gain a strength, a weight that cannot be shaken by the opinions of others. The moment we share our plans, we become vulnerable to external forces. Others may unintentionally or intentionally sow seeds of doubt or expectation that disrupt our focus. For a Stoic, this is unacceptable. Our goals deserve the full force of our energy, undivided and undisturbed. Imagine a sprout growing in darkness, untouched by the storm. Its strength is found in that quiet place where it is nurtured and allowed to take root. This is how a Stoic sees ambition, not as something to be paraded, but as something to be carefully, silently nurtured. By keeping our goals to ourselves, we protect our progress and our purpose. We ensure that our actions, not our words, speak on our behalf. This discipline, this careful guarding of ambition, is how the Stoic builds a life of unshakable resolve. The less we speak of our plans, the more power we give them. In the words of Seneca, begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. Our goals are not for others to critique. They are for us to live, one action at a time. Your private struggles and pain. In the Stoic view, struggles and pain are sacred. They are the crucibles in which our strength is forged. To expose these personal battles to the world is to weaken them, to diminish their potential as sources of inner power. The Stoics teach that pain, when borne privately, strengthens the soul. It becomes a training ground for resilience, a place where we face ourselves and, through that confrontation, grow. Marcus Aurelius observed, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it." By internalizing our struggles, we reclaim control over our pain. To reveal it to others is to give them a stake in it, to allow them to shape our perception of it. A Stoic confronts their suffering in solitude, not out of pride, but out of respect for the transformative power it holds. Our struggles become sources of strength only when they remain within the boundaries of our own mind. Sharing our pain can feel momentarily relieving, but it disrupts the Stoic process of self-mastery. Each hardship, each trial, is an opportunity to practice fortitude, to refine the soul's resilience. This inner work, if diluted by outside opinions, loses its potential to harden us against life's inevitable challenges. In solitude, pain is a teacher. It strips away illusions and demands we confront our true selves. To externalize it is to lessen its potency. Seneca wisely noted, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Pain, when embraced in silence, becomes a source of profound inner strength, a power the Stoic wields without the need for validation or sympathy. Your philosophies and beliefs in full detail. For the Stoic, beliefs are not casual thoughts to be shared openly with anyone willing to listen. They are personal codes, hard-earned and shaped through years of discipline, reflection, and personal trial. Our philosophies are not mere opinions, they are the very frameworks that guide our lives and decisions. And because they are so deeply personal, they are treated with a certain reverence, a respect that makes a Stoic guard them closely. To share these beliefs in full detail would be to open them up to misunderstanding, or worse, to judgment by those who may not appreciate or even comprehend them. When Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do," he wasn't simply giving advice, he was underscoring a fundamental truth about living one's philosophy. A true Stoic does not need to explain every tenet they follow because they embody those principles in action, not in words. The silent, daily practice of Stoic philosophy speaks volumes more than any explanation. In holding back from sharing the depths of our beliefs, we actually preserve their power, allowing them to guide us from within. Words, after all, can be twisted or reduced, but actions reveal the soul in its truest form. Philosophies are powerful only when internalized. When a Stoic chooses to keep certain beliefs private, it isn't secrecy, but strength. Our beliefs gain clarity and resolve in solitude as we test them against life's challenges. Explaining these convictions to others risks distorting or diluting them, as opinions or misunderstandings can interfere with our personal resolve. By keeping these beliefs close, the Stoic ensures they remain pure, undiluted, and steadfast, a core of quiet strength guiding us through every moment. In the Stoic way, it is far better to live in alignment with our values than to constantly discuss them. Others may never know the full depth of our philosophies, but they will see them manifested in our conduct, our choices, and the calm we bring into life's trials. By embodying our beliefs rather than proclaiming them, we inspire through action, the most powerful way to influence those around us. A Stoic's beliefs are sacred, a guiding light that requires no explanation, only silent, steadfast adherence. Your relationships and personal bonds. For the Stoic, relationships are cherished and profoundly respected, but unlike the way society tends to display its bonds openly, almost as trophies, the Stoic knows that intimacy and connection are sacred and should be protected from the public eye. Relationships, whether friendships, romantic partnerships, or familial bonds, are personal sanctuaries built on trust and mutual respect. To discuss the details of these bonds with others is to expose a part of ourselves and our loved ones, a part that deserves quiet respect and shelter from outside influence. Seneca wisely advised, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." A Stoic seeks relationships that elevate the soul, connections that bring growth, not drama or spectacle. This improvement happens quietly, in shared experiences and moments that don't need validation from the outside world. In protecting the details of these bonds, a Stoic shields both themselves and those they care about from unnecessary judgment, gossip, or misunderstanding. True relationships thrive in privacy, where they can grow untainted by others' opinions. In a world that often values relationships by how they appear to others, the Stoic finds strength in keeping them private. The depth of our connections is something we experience, not something we need to broadcast. When we protect these bonds, we also protect the authenticity of our connections, free from the influence of society's expectations. This is especially true in romantic relationships. When shared openly, they become vulnerable to unwanted opinions or criticisms, which can erode their strength. A Stoic treasures the privacy of these relationships, recognizing that they are precious precisely because they are untainted by external eyes. By preserving the sanctity of our relationships, we not only honor those we care about, but also ourselves. We understand that our relationships are not trophies to display, but inner sources of strength and joy. The Stoic knows that true love, friendship, and respect do not need to be proven to anyone but ourselves and those we share them with. In protecting these bonds, we create a life that remains stable, resilient, and grounded, a life where the most important connections are shielded, safe, and cherished within the fortress of our own making.